So this is where I got up to with the game. It's good enough for the moment. I want to add a few more features. One of the things I want to potentially do is add bullet shooting. I think I can see some gameplay that might involve bullets that would be kind of fun. So I'm going to look at that. It's going to be a slightly different video from previous ones because this one is going to be about how do we use someone else's work, which is a very common thing in programming. So I've googled Python Arcade Fire Bullets, and looking at the results here, this second one looks like more the one that I want. So I'm going to click on this and it takes us straight to one of these really nice arcade.academy examples where it's exactly what I want. It is shooting bullets at the position of the mouse. Right, so you can see there's quite a lot of code. So the key things that we need to be able to do are pick out the code that is going to be helpful to us and then modify it to make it actually work. And you should expect a few problems along the way. Let's start at the top. Let's see what we can find. So I can see straight away that I've got a bullet list, an arcade.sprite list. Here's an interesting thing. It's set up slightly differently. This is probably what we should be doing, and I may modify our version later, in that it's got an init, which is the basic setup, and then a setup, which you could call again if you wanted to kind of restart the game. So you can see there's slight differences, like it's got self.bulletlist equals none in the init, and then it actually defines it properly here. So those slight differences, you have to kind of work out what's relevant to you and what isn't. So I'm going to put my bullet list in here. I know that that will work because it's the same as the other stuff that I've already got. And thinking about that, there's probably going to be on draw, there's going to be a self.bulletlist.draw. Let's do that right now. On draw, self.bulletlist.draw. And here's the guts of it. It's this def on mouse press. We haven't done on mouse press previously, but it's fairly intuitive. When this is called when someone clicks a mouse button, and we get an X and a Y coordinate, and we're told whether it's a left, right, middle button, and I'm not quite sure what the modifier is. We could look that up in the documentation. Let's scroll down here. It's nicely lots of nice comments, and you can see it's making a bullet. It works out the start position and sets that to be the bullet position. Yeah, that's useful. Destination, that's where it's going, which is the X and Y coordinate of the mouse. And then it does a little bit of maths down here, just trigonometry, right angle triangles, tangents, sines and cosines. I guess that's one of the reasons that we're copying and pasting some code, is so we don't have to do that maths. And then it adds it onto the bullet list. So that looks like we can just pretty much grab let's grab a whole lot and see what we need to modify. So I'm going to go into, where do they put it? They put it after the on draw. We'll do the same. We'll make sure that we're not inside a function, so I'm pasting it between two functions there. And I'm just going to check that the indentation level of the def is correct, which it looks like it is. And I'm happy with that. Now, a couple of things I noticed straight away is that it's using a constant, which I don't have in my code. So let's scroll up in the example. We know that constants are going to be at the top. Sprite scaling laser 0.8. So I could add the constant, or I could just change this to 0.8. We can change it later. What else have I got that's different? That's going to be potentially a problem. I don't know. We'll kind of go with that. I'm expecting errors. We'll go with that for now. Enter there. So we've got differentiated between the two functions. Now, what else have we got? I'm expecting something in this on update because we need to update the position of the bullets. And here we are, self.bulletlist.update. Let's grab that. And we'll put that alongside. We've got this is enemy update, and I see that the enemy update actually is it does it one by one, each different enemy in the list, and this one's doing the whole list at once. I wonder if I could do that for the enemies. I might try that later. Anyway, we'll just put that there for now. I'm just going to save and run and see what happens at this point. And we've got if I click, okay, that's cool. We've got an error straight away. Name math is not defined, and it tells us which line. Yeah, no surprise here. When it does this maths here, we don't have that library installed or imported. So you can see they've got import math here. Control C, import math here. That solved that problem. I should have mentioned before, in this update function, it's got a whole bunch of stuff to do with collisions and shooting stuff and all the rest of it. Now, we're definitely going to want some stuff like that. We're going to want to check when our bullets hit things. But not yet. This feels like the bare minimum that we can test and get working, and that's an important thing, is not to try and do everything at once and then everything is broken, but try and do individual parts. So this feels like the minimum I can run and it works. We'll see if it works. Click, and I've got another error. It says math is not defined. I didn't save. Got the asterisk at the top. I can see it's not saved. My fault. We'll run again. These are all instructive errors. I see these errors all the time in class. You know, people make changes and don't save. More red stuff. What's it say this time? Bullets looks like a constant I haven't defined. Bullet speed. Where is it creating bullet speed? It is. It'll be somewhere in that on mouse press. You know what? I'm not actually too interested in it. I'm just going to grab what I know will be here because it's a constant, so it's at the top. So it says bullet speed equals 5. Let's copy that. Let's put that here. Let's see what happens. Run it. Wait and click. Oh yeah, bullet speed is a bit slow, but that seems to be very much the kind of thing that I'm looking for. So that was an exercise in taking an example which has got a lot of what we want, but it is not exactly what we want. I mean, there were a few other things that I was quite lucky about. For instance, when I make my player sprite here, I call it exactly the same as their player sprite here. So I didn't have to make any changes there. But you expect to be making a bunch of changes. You expect indentation to be wrong. You expect that there's things that you're going to have to understand and fix. But it is always more efficient than writing the code yourself.